Hey everyone, this is Rebecca Bullen again with another miracle story. So these are actually testimonies of people that God has changed through our ministry here at Mission Moroto. One of the coolest ones is a lady named Ruth. Our first service ever in our church building at Mission Moroto was Easter Sunday. I pushed the contractor hard to finish in time so we could have our Easter Sunday as our dedication service. And we had an overnight prayer meeting the night before Easter. And this lady came in. We were having a great time praying, worshiping, hearing little sermons from different people. This lady came in, obviously possessed by demons. She was screaming, clawing at people, smacking people, and everybody didn't seem to know what they wanted to do about it. Like I was expecting some of the pastors that live here long, indigenous pastors, people from here, to be able to handle it, because I'm like, well, I don't know if I wanted to get involved. Maybe they'll see if they do something first. Well, they didn't, and then I felt the Holy Spirit tell me, Rebecca, this is your job. Go deal with it. So I walked over to her and I just gently put my hand on her arm and said, I motioned to her because she was speaking Kadamajang, of course, and I didn't know very much back then. So I just put my hand on her arm and I motioned to her to come outside with me, and so she did. And she kept telling me all her problems, all this, but of course I didn't understand what she was saying. But she immediately, as soon as I touched her, you could see there was an obvious calming down in her spirit. And so I just kept walking with her, and I kept smiling with her. And as we walked, she didn't realize what I was doing. I just walked her directly to our gate and walked her outside and told her to come back tomorrow, because I knew how to say that in Kadamajang. I just said, come back tomorrow, and I just closed the gate and went back into the service. Well, come to find out later on, the pastors that were in the service, they saw her later in one of the villages, and they prayed over her, and they took her to Pastor Grace's house, and they prayed over her intensely, and she was healed from the demon. And she came back to me later. I saw her later at one of our revival services. She was all excited. She got baptized, and she kept saying that she wanted work. So when I needed a place in our mission for a house mom, I said, yeah, let's hire her, because she was obviously changed, completely different person. And she's always excited, always happy, loves taking care of the little kids. I have no problems with her, because when you've been in that dark place and God frees you from it, nothing in this world could ever convince you to go back to that dark place. You are completely free when God frees you from something like that. So I hope you enjoyed that story. And I also have one more short one I want to tell you. I think I told you in another video about the lady that me and my dad prayed over, who was basically almost dead, and yet God healed her, and she came to our baptism service and our revival service. Well, one of the cool stories is the very first baptism service we had, we were not actually the main leaders of that baptism service. They were just begging us to baptize. And so I said, well, my dad will be here on this particular day. Let's just have everybody meet at the river and he will baptize them. And we'll come with our mission team as well. Well, our mission team was late because of rain and craziness, which it never rains in December. That's another cool story that I can tell you later. But our mission team was late, so my dad ended up baptizing before we got there, but to kind of give the people something to do while he was waiting for us, and also because he didn't want to baptize anybody without knowing for sure that they heard the gospel and they knew what they were getting themselves into. He spent almost an hour standing in the river preaching. And this man, who was the town drunk of Nakiloto, where they were baptizing in, had come to the river to see what was going on. And he hears my dad's baptism service message, and he tells God, well, I want to change my life, but I don't have the power to do that. And the man said, there's no power in this water, but if you will fill me with your power, I'll go into that river and get baptized. And he felt God's presence inside of him, so he went into the river, got baptized, left drinking, left all his wild life, and he's now one of our pastors, because he started evangelizing all over the place and bringing people to Christ like crazy. So we said, hey, we want you to be one of our pastors of this particular village church. And he is the sweetest pastor ever. People love him. He's leading people to Christ like crazy, and his name is Loduk George. And he's just, every time he sees my dad, he starts to cry and says, you are the one who led me to Christ. And my dad cries too, because how can you not? So I hope you enjoy those two stories. I'll have some more for you tomorrow about more testimony stories of people that God's changed completely through this ministry. And it's all because of your prayers and support. So thank you so much. I love you all.